Greetings, everyone. Welcome. Oh, hold on. Welcome to another live stream. As you can see in front of me here, I've got some sketch covers that I've done, and I'm going to do another one today. I've got a request to do another one, and this is all centered around my Kickstarter, which you can see. Let's see below here, below somewhere. I can't. Yeah, right down here somewhere. Kickstarter it's only got 3 days to go. So if you're watching this live, you got 3 days. If you're watching after the fact, you may have 2 days, or actually have a little less than 3 because I'm recording this a little later. But yeah, it's getting ready to wrap up, and so I figured I'd come on here, draw another sketch cover. This one was a request. There is a tier where you can get one of these sketch covers. There's a tier where you can get just the blank one if you want to do your own sketch, or you can get one done by me. Bunch of other stuff. Check out the Kickstarter, Young and the Dead for my comic. My comic book, Young and the Dead, No Zombies Allowed. This is the trade. This is a kind of a mock-up that I did. Cool wraparound cover. I just got done doing all the graphic design for the inside, so there's a lot of new stuff, kind of ephemera and things like that you're going to see that's, a tribute to the 80s. So if you're into like 80s nostalgia, this thing is just packed with that, from the story, everything. And I'm like super happy with it. It's a big, thick book, thick story. This is the complete story. So if you get this, you're going to get the whole thing, and it is available now. Or if you've been collecting the single issues all this time, you can just get the final issue 6, and you'll have the whole story that way, or you can get the whole thing. There's all kinds, like I said, all kinds of tiers. One thing I do want to mention, we just finally, this Kickstarter has had, here, let me switch over. This Kickstarter has had a lot of ups and downs. It's been crazy as far as we were like a week ago, we were so close to hitting that stretch goal. And whether it's the economy or whatever, I don't know, but a lot of people had to cancel their pledges. So we dipped way back down. So finally, after a week, we picked right back up, and we finally hit that stretch goal, which is going to get everyone a 3D print. I don't have the actual print with us, but one of the things I don't have with me, but it's a cool print, artwork by myself, and you get the 3D glasses with it. Everyone's going to get that now. If you back at a physical level, everyone gets that included in their pledge because we hit that stretch goal. Plus, there's all kinds of other things. But the next stretch goal, and we'll see, God willing, if we can hit it. But the next stretch goal is, I've just unveiled it, and it is here. Let me switch back over. You can see this here. These cool zombie tattoos. So I'm hoping we can hit that stretch goal so everyone can get these cool zombie tattoos. So super excited about that. If you're on my Patreon, I sent the digital files, so you can actually, if you want to go get the paper and print them up yourself, you can. Those are Patreon goals, but. If you back the Kickstarter, if we hit that next stretch goal, everyone's going to get these cool zombie tattoos. They're just fun, So there's that. So let's get into doing this sketch cover. I'm going to break out a new one here. Let's see. And I don't know, this is sort of an impromptu live stream. Usually when I do these, we'll see, and people start rolling into the chat. I think I got the chat open. Should be, yeah, it's open. All right, nope. All right. So feel free to ask any questions if you guys want in the chat. Otherwise, just kind of lurk around and watch me do this. And let's see. Okay, so the kind of the stipulation is with this, and if you do want to get one of these original sketch covers, is that there's some stipulations, and I said that it's an 80s zombie theme, and it will be in this color scheme, this kind of green color scheme, one character, but you can pick anything. We've got the zombie Mr. T, zombie Terminator. This is one was a request I recently did, and if you want something in particular, just reach out to me and let me know if you back that tier. Otherwise, I'll just pick one of these other ones. I've got some, I've got the zombie Footloose, the zombies say anything. So there's a few different ones, but if you have a particular quest, as long as it's one character, it is kind of 80s theme and it's a zombie, and we can kind of tweak it around a little bit. For instance, the one I'm going to do today, I hope he doesn't mind me mentioning his name, Brian had requested, he wants me to do sort of a Red Dawn sketch. However, he was asking if I could tweak it instead of having the Russian costume, just tweak it just a little bit because it's pretty much the same costume, but he wants, and I pulled out some reference material, the East German costume with the, I forgot what the name of the hat is. He told me, but so we've got that hat, and so it'll pretty much look like Red Dawn, the Russians, but it's just tweaked a little bit. So that's what we're gonna do. So I'm gonna start sketching things out. The only thing I could not find for some reason I couldn't find my eraser. So I've got the eraser on the back of this pencil. I guess I'll have to do with that. But sometimes you just gotta deal with what you have. Yeah, if you guys have any questions, just let me know. I'm gonna put on, let's see. I usually wear this just so I don't dirty this is usually, I use this for my screen, when I'm drawing digitally, so my hand moves across. But I also use it because it helps me so I don't smudge the page. So as I've mentioned before, when I do these, I usually pencil pretty light. So you may not, as I'm drawing this, you may not be able to see it very clearly until I get to the inking stage. But anyway, so I'm gonna try to sketch out a pose here. We'll try to do kind of a cool action pose. We'll see how this comes out. And I'm going to be doing a lot of sketching this weekend, actually, for Free Comic Book Day. So this is a kind of a good warm up for that, because every time I do Free Comic Book Day, I have a number of people requesting sketches and stuff, and it's quite fun. It's quite an experience, but it is a lot of work trying to get all these sketches done. So this is, it's been a little while since I've done. The last one I did was this, the Stay Puft. So but I do have to kind of get back into the swing of things as far as doing sketches. I'm just so, doing so many digital sketches lately. It's a little different because it's a lot easier to fix your drawings when you're drawing digitally. We got Fabricio in the chat. Hey, Fabricio, how's it going? Just drawing some zombies today, some 80s themed zombies to kind of bring some attention to my Kickstarter. And I'm just hopefully I got some reference here also for the gun. So we'll see. Hopefully I can get this gun somewhat correct. Not always the best. Not too familiar with the different kinds of guns. So if you're a gun person, you may say, oh, that's not exactly correct. So hopefully that's not the case. So I'm just kind of going with the reference material I have and hope that it's accurate, because I don't have the knowledge to say, oh, that's not the gun that particular soldier would use. But it is based on an East German soldier, so I assume it's correct. But that's all I can do is assume. But the thing is, and hopefully, I don't know if you can see, I'll kind of, like I said earlier, it's a little hard to see when I draw because I draw pretty light, so some of we'll have to kind of wait till we get to the inking stage. But that's always the problem when I do these live streams. And then let's see, it's got kind of but it should be fun. The thing is when you draw, because every once in a while people say, well, can you draw this or can you draw that? And once you kind of realize how shapes work and everything, you can kind of draw anything. Now, how well you draw, that's a different story. Or I have, I guess, a particular style, and I'm not the best at realism. My stuff always tends to look more cartoony or comic book. But for the most part, if it exists and if I need reference, then I can, for the most part, figure out how to draw it, because it's just a matter of right? Like, I don't know if you can see, but the arms, everything's like cylinders and everything. And then I just kind of double checking, perspective and proportions, and then I can kind of figure it out. But we want, he's going to be, I want to give enough room for the hat. Now, he didn't specify on how he wanted the hat, because you can have these flaps down here like this, but I think he probably preferred that they're up. So that's the way I'm going to do it, and hopefully he's happy with that. Because even though I kind of like them down, kind of like a Fargo type thing, I think if you're out in the field, unless it's like super cold, which Red Dawn, it was pretty cold. It was in the snow for the most part, but let's see. And again, you can't really. I think I'm gonna have his, because he's a zombie, he'll be quite a bit emaciated and everything. Now, also, it's got kind of a. There's a couple different versions. Like this one, you don't see that, but I've seen some other versions where they've got sort of the kind of big. I don't know what do you call that? I mean, I live in Arizona, so I'm not used to wearing super warm stuff. But the big heavy like wool or whatever it is kind of coat, like a bomber jacket, almost has that real thick stuff. I don't know what you call it. All right, and then he's kind of got shoulder straps here. And again, I apologize if you can't see it. It just, when I did a whole bunch of sketch cards the other last live stream I did, I think, and I pre-drew them just because I knew that you weren't going to be able to see it. So hopefully it's, that's why I'm trying to narrate this as best as I can. So even though you can't really see it that well, hopefully it still, makes sense and is somewhat interesting to watch. We got Groove Tune Records and Films in the chat. How's it going? Got some new people that I haven't seen before, so welcome. Yeah. Again, just kind of letting people know about my Kickstarter for my comic book Young and the Dead. It is the complete version of the story. Finally, after a long time, we finally got the complete version done. Let's see. Right now, I'm just trying to. Now, typically, if it's cold, the reference I'm looking at, the guy's kind of wearing gloves, but I want to show more of the zombie hands, so. Because otherwise, he's got so much clothes, you're not going to really see that he's a zombie, other than his face and his hands. So, and then okay, so let's see. Right here. He's got some, looks like a pouch off to the side. So we'll make sure we include that. And then let's see. Here he's got like a knife. So let me draw the knife here. It's kind of attached to the pack, it looks like. Could be attached to the belt, but he's got another right here. He's got another kind of pouch here. Just a lot of stuff, but kind of the more thing that I think that's why Rob Liefeld was so big in drawing pouches. They're kind of fun, Just adds kind of a lot to your character there. Okay, so he's got the gun slung around his shoulder, which we don't want because he's holding the gun. But he's got a belt, and it looks like the kind of comes down here like that, probably. Okay. We're getting there. We're getting there before we, kind of, I'm going to make, I don't know if you can see this, but I'm putting some tears and stuff in his uniform just so we can see a little bit of him through that as well. Okay. All right, now should be here. Let me hold this up so you could see it. I don't know. It's still really light. Can you see that? It's just right now. It's just kind of a gesture, but once I can start, I'll start making it a little darker, and hopefully you can see. So right now what I'm doing is getting ready to do the face. This is always the fun part when you get to draw the zombie face. Okay. And it's basically, you kind of almost draw a skeleton, and then you work from there, and you start adding the skin around it. So the ears, I'll probably make his nose kind of falling away, but I definitely want to include, the teeth, and maybe have his jaw, like his jaw's kind of hanging to the side. Again, sorry if you can't see this, but sometimes I draw like the hair coming down, but since he's in the military, he's probably going to have a shorter haircut, so probably won't do that. But maybe he's got some eyebrows there. Just flesh hanging off of him. Okay. All right, now I'm gonna try to do. Now I got this detail. Now I don't know how well we'll be able to see this, but this is the detail on the hat here. So let's see how, and it takes up a fair amount of the hat. So hopefully I get this right, but there's a circle in the middle. Let me move that over a little bit. That's not quite centered where it would be. We got Dylan in the chat. Hey, Dylan, how's it going? Doing another zombie sketch for the Kickstarter. Less than 3 days to go. It's getting closer. So I'm pretty excited to get this out to everyone. We did have quite a few little setbacks, but I think hopefully we're back on track and we'll have a strong finish. And it looks like it's okay. So this is going to be super small, so I don't know how well you're going to see it, but it looks like a hammer and a compass, like a compass that you draw with, like a map compass. Which, yeah, now that I've drawn it, I can see that it's very. I don't know how much of it you're going to see. And then these are like leaves coming up, and there's a little acorn here, but yeah, it's going to be hard to see a lot of the detail, but I want to make sure that this kind of comes up like this, pretty thick, and then it's going to wrap back around his ear, and then it kind of folds into the top. And then, like I said, these may hang down if you're trying to keep your ears warm, but he's a zombie, so I don't think he's too worried about getting too cold. All right, this is fun. This reminds me of kind of like, what was it? Oh, the have you guys seen the Creature Commandos on what did I watch that on? It's the DC Creature Commandos that James Gunn did. They've got, they've got the GI robot, and then they've got Dr. What's the other guy? But this kind of reminds me of some of the stuff you see on that. Really violent. It's kind of like along the lines of like Invincible as far as cartoons go. Okay. So I apologize if it's hard to see, but we got see. Yeah, Dylan, I am sorry to hear about that. So, hope you're hanging in there. I mean, that's death in the family is never, All right. I just want to make sure that I got this gun as accurate as I can get, because people tend to pay close attention to that. This is good. I guess that's for the sight. You hook a sight up there. I assume that little piece that sticks up from the barrel. And we got this coming down. That here, and then it's getting there. You guys let me know. I mean, if this is, maybe I shouldn't pencil these on live where you can't really see it, because I pencil so light. But and then I don't know, when you guys draw, do you guys have like heavy hands, or you draw light like this? I was fine. It's better to draw light and then build on that, so you don't, it's. Let's see. And then, so we got the handle, and then we got the magazine right here. Let's see. Okay. Let's get some grooves in here. Okay, I'm getting to the point. I usually do a lot with these sketches. I do a lot in the inking stage. So, and we're getting close to that. Yeah, I know it's really hard to see. It's just, I apologize. It's just, but I'm getting close to the inking stage here. I just want to make sure certain things are clear. Certain things I don't care about, because I can just fill that up in with inks. But other things, I just want to make sure that I have a good understanding of what I need to draw, and not kind of make it up in the inks. Like, for instance, like all the zombie stuff, I can take a little leeway with, in case it's not perfect, because it's, for one, it's something I've drawn tons of times. But things like the gun and some of these little packs and things like that, those are a little different. I just want to make sure I get those to be somewhat accurate. And the pants themselves are fairly plain, so it does have a design on it, but it's, I don't know, it's kind of like he had mentioned something about teardrop. I don't see that, but I see almost like these lines, not quite camouflage, but these little lines. Maybe I'll add a little bit here and there. And let's see if we can show a little bit of the pockets here. But then make sure we have these shoulder straps, because that's pretty important. Okay. Okay, guys. I think I'm at a point where I can start inking this guy in. All right, I'm gonna take a drink. Oh, and I thought I had a. Let me see if I have any. Yeah. Let's make sure I got a good working brush. Raindrop patterns. Okay, yeah, it is kind of. It does look kind of like a raindrop pattern. All right. Okay. Here we go. So where do I'm going to start kind of at the top. I'll start with the hat. So here we go. And I really want to kind of get the texture, and this is a really thick hat, so try to get that, make sure that texture comes through. And I don't know, is Groove Tunes, is that, I don't know if that's you, Brian. I'm not sure. You seem like you know what you're talking about, so I'm wondering if that's you. Okay. Just make sure we have enough in there to show that this is a really thick hat. And then I think I'll wait, and I think I'm going to do this part with the micron, because it's sometimes it's hard with the brush tip. It's kind of hard to get accurate stuff like that. So okay, all right, okay, cool. So hopefully you're enjoying this. This is so the person who commissioned this is in the chat. So now the pressure is on. All right. And again, if you're out there and you want something like this, then there is a tier available for that, for an original sketch. And like I said, I'll be at my local comic book store this Saturday for Free Comic Book Day, doing quite a bit more sketches. So this is a little good practice for that. And I don't know, I mean, depending on where you are, I don't know how many of you guys are in Arizona, but I'll be at Surprise Comics in Surprise, Arizona. And if you aren't in Surprise, you should definitely take part in Free Comic Book Day. Go to, if you have a comic book store near you, definitely go and pick up some free comics and support your local comic book store. I mean, it's usually a really fun day. I mean, it's like, as far as comics go, it's kind of the comic book Super Bowl almost, I guess you'd say. Oh, when is Free Comic Book Day? Free Comic Book Day is the first Saturday of every May. So that's this Saturday coming up. Oh, and Dylan, I know that you're in Arizona. So yeah, there I'll be at the shop, I think from 10:30 to 5 or 6. But the store opens at I think the store opens at 9. But it's all, if you just search Surprise Comics online, then you'll be able to find that. But yeah, if you can make it out, and I think you said you're even in Surprise, aren't you? So, but yeah, come by and say hi if you can make it. I mean, it is going to be busy there, but it should be fun. And be sure to let me know when you do. There we go. Well, I'm starting to dig this now. Okay. Like I said, his jaw is going to kind of be hanging off to the side here. Like he got smashed and it's just kind of hanging there. All right. Man, I wish I was. I think I said this in the last stream. I wish I was more like my friend Josh, who I do the Artcasters with, which we should be recording tomorrow. We're trying to figure out a time because we kind of have a conflict with one of our guests. So hopefully we can figure out the time. It might be a little earlier, but yeah. So but Josh is just really good at talking and staying entertaining while he's drawing. Me, I just get lost in it and I forget to talk. Or like, yeah, what do I talk about? So if you guys have any questions or anything, be sure to let me know. Okay. There we go. A little more detail in his neck here. Some shadows and things. And I'll go back in here too and add a little more blacks and things, especially under his eyes here. But a lot of this comes together once you start throwing in, like you can see, once you start throwing in these colors, that is really going to make it pop out. Even though it's monotone, it will definitely make it pop. All right, so these have little buttons here. Okay. And then another shoulder strap over here. And I'm just going to kind of dirty it up a little bit because he's a zombie. There might be blood or dirt or something. And he's all kind of buttoned up here. And we're going to have the shoulder. I guess that's probably a gun strap there. Shoulder kind of comes down here. Let me check my battery life on my. It seems like the battery's okay on my overhead camera. So Dylan, have you ever been to Surprise Comics? You said you're in Surprise. It's a pretty decent sized comic store. I'm gonna see. This is one of those things where I said I kind of decide when I'm inking, so I'm gonna make his shoulder kind of exposed, and it's kind of just be bone and muscle for the most part. If you can see, I mean, it's what you can see. It's kind of, but just kind of peeking through the shoulder there. Let's get the button on his. Okay. All right, here we go with the gun. Now the gun, I think I can do the gun here with the brush pen, but sometimes with these straight lines, I want to, let's see, hold on, okay. Make sure I get this part right. But sometimes we're like, sometimes if I'm drawing the real detailed, like a gun, I might use a ruler and like microns, but I think this is going to work out okay. I'm just happy to be out of the pencil stage so you guys can actually see something. All right. Barrel here. Probably, I add this detail, but probably a lot of that's going to end up being black. I'll fill it in. This piece kind of comes down. This piece goes here, and then yeah, this part I'm not sure. I mean, again, I don't know a whole lot about guns, but it's kind of like a thin bar that comes underneath. I'm not exactly sure what that's for, but and then back here we've got what is that called? Is that called the hilt? No. What is that called? The back part of the gun that you put up against your shoulder. Or you can, I guess. Trigger guard here, and then now we get to add his bony, emaciated hand. Trigger. And one of the things when you're drawing this kind of stuff, sometimes it helps just to move the piece around. That might just be elementary, but sometimes you forget, like, oh, I could get a better angle if I go over this way. A little bit of the handle here. It's kind of hard to see from my reference, but I think it probably comes down here a little more. It's definitely got to come down more. Okay. I'll fill that in with black. Yeah. Now I get the other hand. Some kind of bony knuckles here. And then the thumb will kind of come back around underneath. Oh yeah, samurai. Yeah, I a long time ago, I did a thing where I tried to go to as many comic book stores as I could on Free Comic Book Day. That's what I was doing, a lot of like vlogging and stuff, and I was trying to see how many I could go to. But yeah, I've been to Samurai. They've got 2 or 3 locations. It's a pretty big, as far as comic book stores go. That's a pretty big chain. And my brother, he goes to Drawn to Comics, which is another. I mean, all the comic book stores out here are pretty cool. It's not like it used to be when I was a kid, where it's almost like they weren't always the most welcoming place unless you knew everything there was to know about comics. Now they seem to be a little more helpful, and like, oh, what are you into? Let's see if we can find something that you like, rather than, well, you don't know about what, you don't know Submariner or whatever. It's just, I don't know. But I think they're a lot more kind of welcoming, and they, they're all different. They all kind of focus on different things. I have to- Right. Let me do the gun strap here. Heck, my battery still seems like it's doing good. And what I'll do, usually what I do is I get to the point where I ink this whole thing, and then I'll put a trailer on and let the let the ink dry, and then come back and color this thing. Still got a little ways to go. Still a little more detail and stuff with the. Still got to do the thing on the hat, the little emblem, but. And then definitely make sure we include the belt. Pouch. These little straps and all right, yeah, it's looking pretty good. I'm gonna draw this knife coming down. And then, so the shoulder strap kind of comes out here, and then this bag is hanging off to the side. This is kind of a real thick bag. Kind of like a big black bag. Another pocket on the edge here. All right, getting there. Let's see. Oh, we got the pockets. Pockets peeking back over here. And then go ahead and draw. Again, I'll just do like what I did with the elbow up there and have the kind of a little bit of the bony leg showing through. All right. Oh yeah, I was just looking at I missed the part about the Godzilla stuff. I think that so when I went to Surprise Comics, and I never know what to go because I'm not like a weekend or a Wednesday warrior like some of these guys. So I go in and I just kind of look around, and I usually buy like old stuff, but I don't really know what to pick up. Or if I see something kind of cool, that sometimes I'll see something new that, like, oh, that looks cool. Let me check that out. But they're doing I think it's Marvel's doing a lot of crossovers with Godzilla and the Marvel universe. Some of them look pretty cool. I almost picked up some, and I'm like, I think I looked at the cover art and I'm like, oh, that looks pretty cool. And then I looked inside and it just wasn't the same, kind of one of those things. All right. Okay, now I'm gonna start adding a little more detail and stuff, and then I'll go with the hat, and then I'll add just some hints of that little raindrop pattern. Just, yeah, I don't want to do too much because it'll get too busy, but just to kind of indicate that there is a pattern there. There is a kind of a circular thing on the belt, but it's so small. We're not really going to see too much detail, but I'll indicate that there. So now it's kind of just adding a little bit of detail here and there, just some little smudges and either blood stain or sort of dirt, or then I'm going to go in and fill in some blacks on the gun and some other areas, maybe the knife. Okay, you know what? I'm going to switch over to this view real quick. All right, so I'm just going to switch out my battery here before it goes dead. Hold on, give me a second, guys. I'll get right back to drawing here. I bought this long-term battery and it doesn't work. So I could use these little tiny batteries. Hold on. Close that. Open that back up. This needs a minute to kick on. And then we should be back in business. Oops. There we go. All right. Good. This is kind of the fun, kind of noodly part. Yeah, so after, it's been such a long road with Young and the Dead, and it's exciting that it's finally gonna, be produced in one volume. And like I said, I just went through and I just did like all the graphic design, and now I'm having it, just one over with the editing, make sure there's no issues with, make sure everything's okay. And but man, I'm really happy with the way it looks. So if you haven't already, definitely check out the Kickstarter, and because it's something I'm super proud of. I think it's it's going to be exciting. But then the question is, what's next? And I already kind of have my eye on, or my thoughts about the next project, and I want to change the style around a little. So that's going to be, it'll be interesting to see kind of how that takes shape, because it's going to be quite a bit different from Young and the Dead. Right. Okay, I'm gonna kind of go around. One of the things I like to do sometimes is go around the whole outline and kind of just pop it out a little bit. Have the outer outline of the whole character just a little bit thicker. And then when I add like the white in the background, after I add like the kind of crackle in the back, how you can see there's a little white outline around it. That'll kind of help it, everything. To me, it just kind of helps it like jump off the page. The gun I'll leave alone because that's gonna be mostly black anyway, so it's not gonna make a difference. But I don't know. What do you guys think? You like that? I don't know. I've just always liked the idea of the outlines being a little bit thicker. Which I notice now that when I do digital, sometimes I don't do that as much, because I usually kind of, I don't know, it seems like maybe it's just me, but it seems like you have to almost change a brush, to a little bit thicker. I mean, you can make your brush. It's real easy to make your brush thicker. Usually, it's just the bracket keys on your keyboard will increase the brush size. But I don't know. Sometimes I kind of forget when I'm doing digitally to kind of go through and do that kind of thing. And I don't know with the next comic what I'm going to do, because with Young and the Dead, everything was pretty much traditional until the two most recent issues I digitally penciled, and then I printed out those pencils and inked. I may do that, or I really think, because what I'm planning on doing for the next book is really make the art pages just so cool. Like, I want every page to just be like in your face, like splash page, like really just to where people are going to actually want the original artwork more than they would with this one. Because this story, as much as I love it, Young and the Dead, it's kind of, I don't know, it's kid protagonist. They're not like, I don't know, it's a little different as far as the kind of action that you see in this. I mean, there are action scenes with zombies, and it is action packed, and there's mystery, and there's humor and all that stuff. But I don't know that I call it bombastic, which is kind of what I'm going for my next book. Yeah, Cameron says he likes the lines, how it kind of makes the lines pop, and Dylan agrees. All right. Okay, now let's see. Well, let me do the blacks first, because that's going to take a little longer to dry. I'm just going to go in here in certain places and a little more black, so under the head, try to think when you're adding your blacks where your shadows are going to be. For the most part, under the chin, it's going to cast a shadow on the ears, and then things that just are black, like this shoulder strap is going to be black. And the gun will be black as well. The knife looks like, I almost drew the handle black, but it looks like the knife itself, unless that's a sheath. I can't tell. I think it's a sheath, but still, it looks like that's black. But I mean, I have seen black knife blades, so maybe it is just the blade. I don't know. Maybe you'd need it unsheathed just so it's easy to pull out when you need it, rather than, I don't know. Or maybe it's just easy to pull out of the sheath then. All right, let's see, we got that, and then here we'll do a little spot some blacks in there. Okay, now the gun. So right here, this is the only part this part is wooden. Brown wooden part, and then this part in the back is as well. But everything else, I'm gonna get, hopefully this isn't too thick. I've got my big pit pen, which is, I always make the stipulation, just if you heard it, you probably heard me say this 1,000 times. Get one of these. Never use a Sharpie. This is light fast. This will last. It won't turn colors like a Sharpie would. And they're great because they're big and thick. Much better than a Sharpie. Only thing really I use Sharpies for is signing books. And I can go back in and add some white to this one, little highlights. Like the last one I did, like I usually add highlights at the end, but something like this with the Stay Puft guy, there's nothing really shiny on it, where this has got a gun, and so you're going to have some shiny parts, so we can go back in and have some fun adding some highlights and things. definitely right in here. We'll probably add some stuff there. Okay, I think that's it. And except for most of the oh yeah, these parts I'll do with a thinner brush. All right. And then, so also things like this, like the little strap here is going to cast a shadow probably over his clothes. And again, maybe in here, and then it's probably going to go down here. And then come back up like that. Okay. And the same thing with the, I think this is getting a little dry. Let me try this one. Under this pouch, it's probably going to have a decent shadow there. And then you can kind of fade that shadow out with some dry brush strokes. Same here. Maybe where the shirt kind of hangs down, where it kind of splits where it's buttoned up. Oh, and then the belt. Do the black belt. Yeah, this one's, I don't think this one's any better. Actually, I just split the tines on this brush. Hold on. I guess those aren't technically tines. I think tines are more like when you're using a nib. Anyway. All right, let's see. I've never been the best with terminology, so it's just, that's just the thing I use. I don't know what it's called. All right. Put some more shadows down there. All right. It's coming along. And his hand's probably going to cast a shadow on this part of the gun. And I think it's probably about it, maybe here. All right, so now let's get out the Micron and we'll do some of the detail work on this little emblem, this badge. I think I made it a little bit bigger. I'll see if I can make it a tiny bit smaller, but you know, it's just it's really hard to see. I'm going to just take it one piece at a time because it's so small. Okay, so it's like feathers. Oh, I'm looking at this little one here when I got this big giant one right here. All right, let's see. And then got the another leaf coming up here. Okay. And then a third leaf here. Fourth leaf kind of pulls around up there. So I'm making it a little smaller, so it's a little more accurate to the size it is on the actual thing. Although you probably can't even see my sketch underneath because it's so light. And some of the stuff, it looks like there's little kind of acorns here popping out. Again, so small you're not going to really see, but all right. And then there's some little circles here that surround the larger circle, which we'll draw in right there. And again, you're really not going to see much, but it looks like a hammer and a compass. And that's going to about do it. And then I'll go around it kind of like I did with the outside of the figure and kind of pop that out. So hopefully that's enough to indicate that he's German soldier, because it's just so small. It's kind of like every once in a while you get and not that Brian did this, but sometimes people will say, okay, I want you to draw this guy at the top of like Mount Everest, and I really want to see the scale of it. I want to see how big Mount Everest is, and I want to see the guy on top. And then I want you to see like he's wearing a necklace and I want you to see what's on the necklace. And I'm like, yeah, that's not something you can do. So hopefully that's good enough, but anyway. All right. So we got that. And now let's go and we're going to do some of this like raindrop pattern. And it just kind of, and sometimes, like I said, sometimes when you do this, you don't have to do every single one. It's like drawing hair. You don't draw every single strand, but you can kind of indicate a few here and there so that you get the idea that there is a pattern. It's like when you draw grass, you're not going to draw every strand of grass. You're just going to draw a few just to show that there is, like I said, there is sort of a pattern here. So that's what I'm going to do here. Yeah, I think that it definitely helps. I think it gets the point across, but I don't want to draw every single raindrop pattern. Oh, let's see. Oh yeah, so you got a button there. You wouldn't see the button on that. But I think that is an important part, and he did call. For some reason I thought he said teardrop, but he corrected me raindrop, which now I totally see it. I was like, yeah, it does look like a raindrop. And you also pay attention to the way the folds are. So, because the pattern is going to move around with the folds in the outfit. It's like sometimes when people use digital, they'll take like a texture or a pattern and they'll just paste it onto like a shirt, like digitally, but the pattern doesn't conform to the folds in the shirt, and it just looks kind of awkward. And some people don't mind. Some people it's just like, oh, that's just kind of an effect. Which, let's see, I'm making sure that the lines are kind of curving around. Where the folds are. We're getting there. We're getting almost to the coloring stage. All right. Got Night Phoenix Press in the house. How's it going? Oh, love how I'm bringing back the old school mini comics. I haven't really done a mini comic in a while. But yeah, I think I pulled out. Did I put it away? Oh, I had it out here. Yeah, here it is. Yeah, this is the mini comic for the first issue. But yeah, I mean this whole project, this whole comic book started out as a mini comic. But yeah, I should get back into doing mini. Let me see if I can find this little mini I did. I did a class for kids there's a platform called DIY.org. And I did a course for kids on how to draw comics. Let me see if I can find, looking for my little, hold on, give me a second here. Oh, here it is, yeah. This is kind of a fun little mini comic I designed for that course. I'll just show it off just since it was brought up. But I'd like to do more of these, but this is the one I did for the course. And it's one of those where you can it's one sheet of paper that you can fold and then, but I'll just but it's basically this Interstella and the Space Snack Attack. So she's kind of she's like a space food truck vendor. And then she kind of goes to this planet and then there's, it's almost like, it's very short. So, but it's almost like it follows kind of like the Seven Samurai kind of plot that you've seen with Seven Samurai or A Bug's Life or Battle Beyond the Stars, or I think recently the latest, what was it, Rebel Moon? I think the same plot, but it's a plot that's kind of been done over where there's something comes in and it's taken all the food from the villagers, and then somebody comes along and save. And in that story, they go and build an army to fight them and everything. And this one, it's just her, but it's kind of the same kind of trope. But that's what you kind of do in a small little comic like that. But yeah, that was fun to do. And if you have kids and you have, I think it's subscription based, but yeah, DIY.org. There's all kinds of classes. It's a really cool platform. I mean, you can learn how to beatbox. I mean, there's all kinds of different courses and stuff on there for kids. But yeah, I did that. All right. Am I missing? I think other than signature, I think that's about it. And then I'm going to let this dry. I'm going to play a trailer. And I'll just do my signature here. All right, I'm going to let this dry. And while I do that, I'm going to put on a trailer for Cameron said can't wait for the Kickstarter. Yeah, and you're not going to have to wait long. That's another thing I'll let everyone know right now. I'm planning to get this out as soon as possible. So it's not like a lot of Kickstarters where you wait 3 months that's not long. 3 months is great, but you shouldn't have to wait that long. And you're not going to have to wait 6 months or sometimes a year, or sometimes you don't get it at all. But this, you're definitely going to get it. So and get it soon, because I want to place the print order immediately, get those copies back, and because I want to get those out to everyone, and hopefully even have it for Phoenix Fan Fusion. So, all right. So I'm gonna play this trailer. It's about 3 minutes long, a little over 3 minutes, and that'll give us time to dry, and then we'll get to coloring after that.
80s were a great time to be a kid. We had the freedom to take off on our bikes, and no one cared where we went as long as we were back before the streetlights came on. We drank straight from the garden hose. We built forts and tree houses, ramps for our BMX and skateboards. 80s kids were fearless, and that was represented in the movies we watched. Movies where kids were the heroes. On the big screen, we could see children our age fighting a family of ruthless criminals aboard a resurrected pirate ship. We witnessed kids saving the world, battling dark forces in the form of classic monster archetypes. Some kids cobbled together makeshift rockets and traveled to outer space. Others would befriend an extraterrestrial and help him evade shadowy government agencies and find a way home. These are the stories I loved as a kid, and what inspired me to create my own kid-centric adventure comic book series, Young and the Dead: No Zombies Allowed. Young and the Dead follows the adventures of 11-year-old Sam Young and his little brother Tad as they wake up one morning to find most of the adults in their quiet suburban neighborhood have fallen victim to a horrific virus that has transformed them into flesh-eating zombies. Together, they team up with a ragtag group of neighborhood misfits, including Sam's wisecracking best friend Mitch, a live-action role-play aficionado named Lloyd, a tough-as-nails tomboy, Oksana, Ox for short, Sam's secret crush Stephanie, and her overprotective older brother Ricardo, aka Rocky. It's a race against time as these unlikely heroes fight to survive and unlock the clues to a cure that could potentially reverse the effects of the deadly zombie outbreak and save the world in the process. I'm Scott Serklin, and this is the Underground Lair, where for over a decade I've been working on this passion project, and now the story is finally complete. Young and the Dead has everything I love about comics: adventure, humor, horror, mystery, and of course, zombies. This comic is my love letter to the kid adventure films of the 1980s. Movies like The Goonies, The Monster Squad, Explorers, E.T., and more recently, Stranger Things. Young and the Dead captures all of the nostalgia of that era of storytelling, only with a lot more zombies. Just think Goonies meets Night of the Living Dead. Now, for the first time, you'll be able to get the complete story in trade paperback. Or if you've been collecting the single issues, the oversized final issue is also available. All of the artwork is complete and ready to go. I just need your help with the printing cost in order to make this project a reality. If you love 80s nostalgia, kid adventures, if you love zombies, then this is the project for you. Just check out the campaign. There are tons of really cool add-ons and extras, limited edition prints, vintage wax pack trading cards, sketch covers, remarks, exciting stretch goals to be announced, free shipping to the US, and extras for international backers. It has been a long road, and I am so excited to share the epic conclusion of Young and the Dead with all of you. So thanks for your support over the years. Thanks for your future support, and let's wrap this thing.
Okay, all right, we are back. Time to break out the markers and get back. Lost my little color sheet to test the colors on. All right. Now to add the colors. This is kind of the fun part for me. All right, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do the logo, because I tend to forget about it, but I usually color in the logo. So I'm going to do that first. I think, let me try this one. Yeah, let's. It's going to go in. Now this is the kind of thing, I don't always like these chisel tips. I prefer the brush tip, but something like this, the chisel tip works pretty good for. And I don't know if you can see, but I'm towards the end, I'm kind of making it kind of fray. Which is kind of cool effect. Oops, there we go. I actually drew in that little white spot there, but I can, if I can remember, I'll go in and fill that in. There's usually always a way to fix little mistakes and things, which is good, hopefully. All right, so this, yeah. So the light, I'm going to start, I always start light to dark. My light color of my Ohuhu is kind of running out. Let's see how much is left here. What's that? That's not it, is it? No, this one. We'll see how much juice is left in this thing. Not much. But sometimes the ones that kind of run out, I got to be careful around this part here, because it did smudge, but I will be able to fix that. So the micron on this particular paper, it looks like it takes longer to dry. So just something for me to note. The brush itself is fine. But that's one of those things that I can easily fix. You won't even see it when I'm done. But yeah, this thing's running out of ink, so I'm going to switch over to this guy. This is another kind of light one. Again, start light to dark. These brands are both alcohol-based markers, so let's see. This is and sometimes I kind of move it around to the brush stroke. So since this gun is going this way, I'm going to use make sure that I say brush strokes, even though this isn't really a brush, and then now when I do this, I'm going to go the opposite. It's almost like working with the grain, you know, if you're sanding something. All right. Oh, and with these, like I said, these are, one more time, these are this pledge level is available. If you want one of these original sketches, they are available on the Kickstarter. And the stipulation is that it's kind of like a one character 80s themed zombie. It should look something like this or similar to some of these other ones I've done. So that's kind of that's the parameters. But beyond that, yeah, you can, if you'd like. Now I can either, if you back it and you don't care, you just want a cool piece of artwork, I can throw one that I already have, or if you see one that I've already done that you like, I can do that. Just give you that if it's not already spoken for, or I can do a custom one. But I won't like ask in the Kickstarter. You know, it's kind of like, if you really want something in particular, reach out to me and let me know. Otherwise, I'll just kind of throw in a cool sketch and you can kind of a black box type thing. But so far the sketches that I have done, people have requested something in particular. So, but anyway, those tiers are available, but also the tier where you can get, if you're an artist, there's a tier where you can get a blank sketch cover and you can do your own. And these covers are really good. I was really happy with it because having done a lot of sketch covers, some of the paper are really bad. Like some of them they even print on like glossy paper, which is just, why would you do that? I mean, I had to, do a sketch on one of these with like glossy paper. I'm like, that's just crazy. Now here's something fun with the hat. Since it's kind of this fluffy texture, I'm gonna kind of use the tip of the brush to get a little bit of that texture. In here. It's kind of cool. And again, we're just gonna use shadows. It'll be darker where we've got shadows here. This is where it starts to kind of, like I said, pop off the page. And it's just, for me, it's just working light to dark. Do the same thing. This is the same material that's on the collar here. So it's gonna kind of, you can kind of see where I started that with the ink, put the little dots there just to show the texture. Because you always want to think, what is the texture? Like some things are going to be smooth, some are, but that can all come through with the color and with your drawing. So not everything has that same, it's almost like I remember in the heyday of Image, it seemed like everything was like super glossy and like no, but you gotta have different textures for different things. So yeah, I hope he's happy with this because I'm kind of digging it. I like the idea. It's starting to come together. And again, I'll just kind of repeat. I already kind of decided where my shadows go, so I can kind of just repeat that. Again, that's going to cast a shadow, and this is also, it'll be a little lighter on the top, but these things here, and then this gun will probably cast the handle of the gun would cast a shadow there as well. This whole part will cast a shadow. And make this side a little darker than this side. And then we'll fill in some of the black parts of the gun with the green. I might go back, I'll probably go back in and add some white in there too, but it's starting to come together. He definitely needs some color inside there. Oh, Tron would be a cool one. I thought about that. And if I do more of these, even if somebody doesn't request it, I might do a Tron. Because I could just see like all this. I maybe even mentioned this before. I don't remember. I may have. But like just all this, you could have all the circuitry, but it's all like coming apart and stuff like that. And he's all, zombified. All right. Second color down. Let's see. How much darker is this? It's a little bit darker. So again, same thing. Just adding a little more. Getting close to under here where kind of smudged a little. Like I said, you can't even see the smudge anymore. But that's why you got to take it a little bit. I mean, I'm going pretty fast. I usually tend to go pretty fast, but you got to take a little easy just so in case something does smudge. And sometimes it's best to test out different materials because you never know. I mean, certain things, I don't know why. You would think a micron, and microns don't always smudge like that. So sometimes it just depends on the paper. So that's something I usually got to remember is not to let that smudge, or just be careful around that. I'll just do the kind of the bottom part. So you can kind of fade that up there. The shadow there. And then, so these straps, let's just make these straps a little darker. Okay. Back here. Getting there. I think we go one more. Well, one more pass, a little darker, but not too much, just in particular areas. I'm checking my battery, make sure my battery's working. It looks like it's okay. That's in here. There's shadow. Okay. I think it's looking pretty good. Now, I think I'm gonna, is this the one? Yeah, see, so this is where something like where this, there's not much ink in it, but I think this will be perfect for just in the eyes, just add a little, so it's not just, and because it's so light, you probably can't even see that, but all right. Now, I am going to, I'm just going to dab this because this is where it smudged before, but it won't smudge if I just dab it. So I'm going to add a little bit of color in there. Okay, there we go. Now, that's kind of the fun part. Well, first let's add our Kirby Crackle, and I'll show you some of these other ones. So I always add a little bit of Kirby Crackle, of course, popularized by Jack Kirby. Oh, we got Abe Sapien in the chat. Hey, Abe, how's it going? It's been a while. All right, so I'm going to add some Kirby Crackle. Let me find my lighter. Okay, here we go. So I'm just going to go in here. Again, we're going to pop some of this stuff out with some white pen. I'll just make it a little easier on myself and put a little white outline there already. I don't know, this is just fun to do. I wish I could be known for like kind of coming up with something like, Jack Kirby's got the Kirby Crackle. Todd McFarlane is kind of known for spaghetti webbing, even though I think Michael Golden was kind of the first one to do that. But Todd McFarlane definitely popularized it. But still, it's like, it'd be cool to be known for something like that. I don't know what that would be. I don't know what I do that's different. I don't know. Maybe I just not. I'd like to think I'm that I innovated in some way, shape, or form, but that's probably not for me to decide. That's probably for other people. I know one thing I will say, just having done so many videos, I think about this quite a bit, is that I know I've left an impact, and I know I've helped people, and future artists, and even if I never hear, I know that there's a legacy there that I've contributed to other people's art and stuff, that's really cool. That's a cool feeling. So, and I kind of get reminded of that sometimes when I do shows and stuff, because there's people will come up to me, usually because they'll see me wearing the green jacket, and they'll say, oh yeah, I watch your videos, and and I don't have a huge YouTube channel, but I do have over 1,000 videos. So the chance that some artists, comic book artists, come across at least one of my videos, I mean, it's pretty high, I would say. Let's see. Okay, where? Oh, I'm gonna find my white pins here. Right. So I've got that, and I've got, I don't know which ones work. Let's see. Okay, so I'll start with this small one. This is just a gel pen, jelly roll, and I'll kind of go in here, and I'm just going to add some highlights. Like I said before, just small little highlights. You might not even see them. These don't have like the best coverage over the black, but they're thin enough to kind of, kind of get a cool. It helps. We can put a little shine on things like buttons and fill in some of these teeth. I'm just kind of haphazard when I'm drawing these colors, and we have to go in there, and then I could probably go in where I accidentally colored some of the green in there. Can't tell that anymore. Maybe little highlights there. I don't know where else we would see too many highlights, but you know what? I think no. Let's put some darker crackle in here, and here. I think that'll pop things out a little more. Not too much, but just kind of a little afterthought. I was thinking. That way, when I add the white, hopefully it'll jump off a little more. There'll be a little more contrast there. All right, so let's see this one here. If there's any juice in here. Yeah, it looks good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go around. Now, these are really cool. These are the Molotow One for All. Posca markers are also another good brand that people use. I kind of like these Molotow though. Graffiti artists and stuff, and people that tag stuff sometimes use these markers, which is kind of a look that I'm going to be going for with the next comic, because it's going to be very hip hop influence. So. Also 80s though, like the birth of hip hop, the early hip hop. Before it was played on the radio, when it was all basically underground, and now it's like, nowadays it's like probably the most popular music around. It's like, would have never thought that was the case back in the mid-80s, early mid-80s. All right. But more about that later. We're concentrating on Young and the Dead right now. Okay. I think we went around the whole thing. There we go. And we can add some little dots in here as well. Why not? All right. Maybe little dots here and there on this thing. All right. Maybe a little thicker glare on some of the gun parts. Yeah, it makes it a little shinier. All right. I think that looks pretty good. What do you guys think? You love that my zombie's eyes are white. Yeah, I don't know. I don't like to put the pupils in. And there might be a couple pages where I do, because the way they my zombies they start off, obviously normal, and then get gradually decompose more. But the more they do, the more their eyes kind of go totally white. But I don't know. I always really like that look. But there, yeah, this is for. Oh, hold on. I just realized I want to do a two-tone on this here. Let me find the right color marker. Is that it? I think this is it. Yeah, I just want to do a two-tone. Sometimes there's like things that I like overlook. I'm like, oh, I should have did that. There we go. Doesn't make a whole lot of difference, but I think in a little bit helps. So Brian, thank you for contributing to the Kickstarter and getting the sketch cover tier. Once everything is ready, once I get everything, this is going to go out to you. So I hope you enjoy it. And like I said, if you are interested in getting one of these sketch covers, there's a tier for that. I think it's a pretty good deal because normally about close to what I charge for, I think this tier is like, put it this way. Okay. This tier is like $150. Usually when I do a sketch like this, I charge about $125 at like a free comic book day. If it's a little more detailed, could be more than that, but you're not just getting this. You're getting, with that tier, you're also getting, and I'm going to show you some of the stuff you get, but with that tier, you also get the full book. So, I mean, come on. And then I think with that tier, you also get the single final issue 6. I think you also get a blank one where you can, so I mean, it really is, I mean, it's a fantastic deal. It's like I said, I'm going to be at Free Comic Book Day, and I'm going to be doing these sketches for probably something like this for around $125, I think, for a cover like this. For $150, you not only get a cover, but you get the book, you get all, a lot of stuff. And like I said, we just hit our first stretch goal where everyone's getting the 3D print. You're also, anyone that's backing at a physical level is going to get this cool, and my goal is to print this on a really glossy piece of paper, so you can take like a dry erase marker and fill it out. But this is it's a zombie survival guide, so it kind of shows the number. Like the idea is that if you had this, it just keeps track of day to day. So you write each day, and then you change it. Whatever inventory you have as far as your food or rations or whatever, number of members in your party, knew anyone who's died. You get any zombie sightings, you get to check off what kind of zombies you saw, what's in your arsenal, miles traveled, if you find any safe zones, survivors encountered, friendly, adversarial, confirmed kills, did you double tap? So the whole thing is right here. And that's everyone that backs at a physical level gets this, plus the 3D print with 3D glasses. And I don't have that print in front of me, sorry about that. And there's all kinds of other cool stuff. So let's see, I'll show some of the other stuff. Oh, the next stretch, like I said, the next stretch goal we're trying to hit is these cool zombie temporary tattoos, and it'll have the instructions and everything you need. But yeah, I mean, these are cool. So I don't know if we'll hit this. I'm hoping we do. We don't have much time. I mean, we're down to like almost 2 days left. But it would be super cool if we rallied at the end and everyone got these in addition to that thing. Here's another add-on. There's add-ons you can get. The wax pack trading cards. There's 9 trading cards, stick of gum, sticker. So that's something that you can add on to your pledge. There is, if you are international, because I can't, I forgot to tell you, free shipping. I mean, I can't tell you, very few Kickstarters offer free shipping in the US. So yeah, I mean, if you back and you're in the US, you get free shipping. If you're outside the US, there is a shipping fee. But what I did to kind of alleviate the pain of that, because I don't have any control over that, is I'm offering this pack, which comes with the I Heart Zombie sticker. It comes with the no trespassing to keep out. It comes with a different 3D print plus 3D glasses and this zombie threat level. So all this stuff, it's like I think it's a $50 value. And you get that for the price of shipping, which I think is $40 internationally. I know that sucks, but you're getting stuff free. Now, if you're in the US and you like all this stuff, you're like, oh man, I wish I could get this. You can. You just have to back it as an extra and pay for it. But the international people get this for free. And what else we got? Oh, I forgot the big thing. I forgot to mention this. I should have mentioned this up top. The sketch cards. I did 10 sketch cards. They sold out almost immediately. And I decided, you know what? People have been asking about them. There are sketch cards as an add-on are back. And these are only $5. All right. When they're gone, they're gone. And it's one per person per pledge. So if you want to add this, there's that. You can, even if you've already backed it, you can go onto your pledge and adjust it and add one of these add-ons to your pledge for $5. And if you're a new backer, yeah, I mean, just add one of, assuming that they're still there, add one of these to your pledge. They're $5. So they're cool 80s sketch cards. I mean, come on. So I'll probably be doing more of these. I'll probably do one more live stream before we wrap this thing up and do some more of these sketch cards. But yeah, so I added some new ones. So those, they went fast the first time and they're probably going to go fast this time. I know people are already picking them up. So something to jump on with. Here's some other add-ons. You can add on these postcards, this postcard set. This is Joshua Kimball, myself, Corey Kerr. Artwork by all three of us as postcards, oversized postcards. You get those, and then here, and that's a pack. So you can add this pack on. Here's the 3D print. I was looking for that. So this is the print that everyone got, that everyone's getting now as the first stretch goal. So if you back any physical tier, you're getting this, and you're getting the zombie apocalypse survival guide. That comes, you're getting these with any physical order. So, I mean, that if that's not incentive to jump on this and back it, I don't know what is. Plus the book. I mean, again, I am so thrilled with the way this book, I mean, like I said, I just went through, did all the graphic design. There's pinups in the back. There's, just all kinds of cool stuff. I mean, tons of 80s nostalgia, zombies, kids fighting zombies. If you're into Goonies, Monster Squad, Explorers, E.T., if you're into Stranger Things, you're going to love this book. So yeah. And then, anyway, and then there's a print pack that you can add on, and this is Federica Marchetti. No, I'm sorry. This is Federica Marchetti. I love this print. I mean, just the action that's in there. I made a 3D print of this for the last campaign, but I just love this. Colored by myself. This is Russ Leach on pencils and inks, colored by myself. Gary Hodges, I think he did he do the color on this too? He may have done the color. I can't remember. But yeah, so really cool. And these are like virgin prints. They were covers, but I just kind of wanted to see what they look like without all the trade dress and everything on them. And they look super cool. So you can add those to your pledge. But yeah, so tons of cool stuff. Just go to youngandthedead.com. That'll take you right to, Scott Lost. Hey man, how's it going? Scott, hey, thanks for backing and sharing everything out. And Scott has been super. He runs a lot of Kickstarters. Definitely. Where do people find you? Is it they find you at accidentalaliens.com or I don't know, or just scottlost.com? I'm not sure. Let people know where they can find your stuff. But I want to mention Scott's got a Kickstarter through Don Simpson, who is the creator of Megaton Man, the classic independent hero Megaton Man. Scott's got a story in the new. It's basically a bunch of independent artists take on Megaton Man. So definitely check that out. I assume if you go on Kickstarter and search Megaton Man, you're gonna find that. And definitely back that. I backed it. I can't wait to get mine. But Scott's been tremendous helping me out with advice for the Kickstarter because he's run a lot, and it's been a while since I've run one, and there's a lot of new stuff. Oops, I lost my picture. Hold on, let me. I got to get back to me anyway. So anyway, I guess I can kind of close this out since I lost my battery there. But let's see, I didn't get to read it. It's I mean, I think that I really do like that idea. I don't know if I came up with it. I probably didn't come up with it, but the international thing, throwing the extra stuff, I think it helps because it just sucks. It's just, if I didn't have to charge international people to back my thing, I wouldn't for shipping, but it's just too expensive, and that's when you get into big trouble. So, but yeah, it's just cool that Scott's hooked up with follow Scott, because I talk about him all the time, because with my latest comic, he's got something called the Slack method. I'm looking at this. I should be looking at you guys. He's got something called the Slack method that he kind of came up with, and I kind of added that to the way that I create comics, which is a really unique way of creating comics, where you kind of look at the big picture, and then you just kind of move around to whatever makes sense at that time. Maybe like I want to pencil page 5 this time, and then there's something cool on page 20 next time, and you just move around, and then gradually it starts to fill in, and that really helped. This last issue is the biggest issue that I've done for this comic, and it took me the least amount of time to do it because of that Slack method. So anyway, yeah. Again, we're trying to get close to this next stretch goal with the temporary zombie tattoos, but we've already hit the 3D print. Everyone's getting this 3D print. Everyone that backs at the physical level, and then of course everyone that backs at the physical level also gets the zombie survival guide. Just cool stuff. And if you have the wherewithal and you want a really cool sketch, like I said, these are awesome deals. Again, I charge like $100. I'll be free comic book day. I'll be charging $125 for one of these. You can get this plus everything else that comes with it. They'll trade everything for $150 if you back at that level, if you can do so. I know it can be steep for a lot of people. Yeah, a lot of people had to back out. I mean, the economy is just like crazy right now. I mean, I had a lot of big backers. Like I said, last week I was almost at that stretch goal, and I was like getting ready to put out the post. We hit our stretch goal, and then it just dipped back down again, and it took me a week to build back up. And then the minute after I posted that we hit the stretch goal today, this morning, we dipped back down again because people backed out. But then it ticked back up. So hopefully, my experience with every other Kickstarter is things pick up towards the end. So I'm hoping we're going to really rally towards the end, because so far we're a little behind, to be perfectly honest. And this is going to cost me the most, because I'm doing the print. I'm not doing print on demand this time. I decided, even if that original, if you saw the original goal to hit, that was just so if just a certain number of people backed it, I'd be able to do the books print on demand, get them out to everyone. But I really want to do a big offset print run, and so we really gotta rally at the end to I'm gonna do it no matter what, but I'd like as little of that to come out of my pocket as possible. So yeah, let's make that happen. If you're thinking about backing, all kinds of cool stuff. Like I said, I am just like, after just finishing up the book, all the graphic design. I mean, they'll in between each page. So what I did was, in between each story, I added like a title page, and it's just loaded with like cool memorabilia and nostalgia and stuff from the 1980s. And just cool stuff. And I'm just really happy with the way this book's coming together. There's a little gallery of artwork in the back. This is my baby. I've been working on this for over 10 years, and it's finally done. So I'm super excited to get it out to everyone. But yeah, check it out, youngandthedead.com. Appreciate all the support. Go back it if you can, and if you can't, share it out. Let people know where they can find it. If you know anyone that's in design, I've had a lot of people that have said, I can't really back it right now, but I'll share it, and they have, and I've seen them share it. So thank you if that's the next best thing. So just let's get the word out as best we can. I'll probably do one more live stream before we close it out. I've got some sketch cards to do. Again, even if you've already backed it, you can go and change your pledge and add one of these sketch cards for $5. I've got another 10. A number of those have been sold. They might gone now, I don't know, but get these before they're gone. They went super fast the first run. I'm not going to do another one after this, because I don't want to do more than 20 sketch cards. So, but yeah, add that to your sketch goal, or if you're a new backer, you can still add that in the add-ons. But yeah, let's finish big, guys. Thanks everyone in the chat. I appreciate it. I'll be back tomorrow on this channel. I think, hopefully, for Artcasters, still trying to work out the time and everything. It might be a little early if we can make that happen, but we'll see. Thanks again, everyone in the chat, and yeah, I'll see you on Artcasters tomorrow. Have a great night, everyone, and again, thanks for all the support. I appreciate it. Later.